I just wanted to go swimming, but a bully suddenly shoved my head underwater. It took almost a minute before he finally let go. I surfaced, gasping for air, but the next second, he snatched my telescope and threw it into the lake. I completely lost my mind. I grabbed a stick and struck him down. Then I jumped into the water, desperately searching for the telescope, but the lake was too deep. No matter how many times I dived down, I couldn't find it. When I finally climbed out of the water, the bully was still lying on the ground. He wasn't moving, and he didn't respond to me. I thought I had killed him. Terrified, I ran away. I didn't dare go back to the group home because the telescope, it belonged to my roommate, the last gift his father had ever left him. With nowhere else to go, I went to a neighbor's house and picked up my little brother. Mom had left him there, promising she'd be right back, but once again she was a no-show. That evening, Mom finally showed up and took us both out. I thought we were finally going home, but on the way, she ran into some of her friends. They invited her to hang out, and Mom didn't hesitate for a second. She wrote the bus route on the back of my hand, kissed us goodbye, and vanished into their laughter. And just like that, I was back to taking care of my little brother. I took his hand and led him to the bus stop. But when we got back to the apartment, the spare key was gone. Mom usually hid it in a boot by the door, but this time, there was nothing inside. I called her over and over again, but she never picked up. I didn't want to believe she had actually abandoned us, so I took my brother and went looking for her. We went to the bar where she worked first, but the people there said Mom hadn't shown up in days. Next, we went to the spot where she usually hung out with her friends. The room was packed, and the air was thick with smoke. I searched through the crowd over and over, but she was nowhere to be seen. Later, I saw a woman from afar, leaning against Mom's ex-boyfriend's chest. For a split second, I thought I had finally found her. But when the woman turned around, I realized I had the wrong person. I borrowed someone's phone and dialed Mom's number again, but all I heard on the other end was the same cold voicemail. I finally took my brother back to the apartment, but the key still wasn't there, and there was no message from Mom by the door. Night had fallen, and we had nowhere to go. Luckily, I found an abandoned garage and kept my little brother safe for the night. The next morning, my brother clutched his stomach and told me he was hungry. We didn't have a single penny on us, so I told my brother to go into a cafe and grab some free sugar and creamer packets. The second he came out, we took off running, and then poured the sugar and creamer straight into our mouths. It wasn't a real breakfast, but at least stopped complaining about being hungry. After that, we walked into a mall. It was warm and bright inside, and for a few minutes, we almost felt like normal kids. Then I saw a telescope, the exact same one the bully had thrown into the lake. I looked at the price tag, but there was no way I could afford it. I thought about my roommate waiting for me back at the home, and how I had lost the last keepsake his father ever gave him. So I tore off the price tag, slipped the telescope under my coat. No alarms went off, and no one stopped me. I actually got away with it. But immediately after, I suddenly remembered my brother was still inside. I spun around instantly and rushed back into the store. Unfortunately, a clerk recognized me and started yelling for me to stop. I panicked and took off running. I pushed through the crowd, ducked under a barricade,